Many people know Dr. Jan Paul from his hit reality TV show The Incredible Dr. Paul, which aired on Nat Geo Wild. But behind the success of this well-liked veterinarian is Diane Paul, who has been his rock for decades. Diane has been an important part of Dr. Paul's life from the time they were young lovers to the time they were reality TV stars. Unfortunately, Diane has been having personal problems, including serious health problems, in recent years. Have you heard? You heard?
Sair.
Let's take a closer look at Diane Paul, the woman who has been the key to Dr. Paul's success. Diane Paul is not only Dr. Jan Paul's supportive wife, she is also an important part of his success, playing a key role in both their personal and professional lives. Diane was born in Michigan in February 1943 and grew up with strong family values and a strong sense of community. From a young age, she was known for being kind, generous, and loving animals, especially ducks, Diane was a smart and motivated student who did well in school and developed a lifelong love for learning. Her hard work led her to earn a master's degree in special reading, which shaped her career as a teacher for many years. But life had other plans for her. As a teenager, she met Jan Paul, and what started as a romantic relationship quickly turned into a marriage that has lasted over 50 years. For many years, together they built a family and a successful veterinary practice. Diane has been an important part of their journey, from supporting Jan's goals to helping run their practice and navigating the challenges of life in the public eye. But recent events have made fans worry about her health, and they're wondering what happened to Dr. Paul's wife. Through it all, Diane has remained a pillar of strength. But there's more to her story than just smiles and dedication. Although that will soon reveal how Diane and Dr. Paul met. Diane and Jan Paul's love story began in 1961 at Imbil High School. Jan was an exchange student from the Netherlands who stayed at Diane's house while they were both teenagers and quickly became friends, which turned into love. They both loved animals, which sparked their friendship. Diane was immediately drawn to Jan's drive and love for animals, while Jan admired Diane's intelligence and warmth. Despite coming from Diane was from a small town in the United States, and Jan was from a rural area of Holland. They met through shared values and goals. They both valued hard work, education, and building a meaningful life together. As they spent more time together, bonding over long walks, deep conversations, and a shared vision for the future, their relationship grew stronger. Both Diane and Jan had big goals, and they supported each other every step of the way. Diane was passionate about education, and Jan was passionate about building a meaningful life together. Pursued his dream of becoming a veterinarian. Their relationship grew stronger every day, based not only on love but also on mutual respect, support, and an unwavering commitment to each other. In 1967, Diane and Jan said their vows in a heartfelt ceremony, marking the start of their lifelong journey together. Their marriage was based on love, trust, and the knowledge that they would face both successes and failures as a team. Little did they know that the years ahead would bring both amazing and difficult events. After getting married, Diane and Jan made a brave choice. They moved to the Netherlands so that Jan could continue his veterinary studies. It was hard for Diane to get used to the new culture and language, but she supported her husband's goals and enjoyed the adventure of their early years together. When Jan finished his studies, the couple moved back to the United States and settled in Michigan. Diane started a family. Diane worked as a teacher at Harbor Beach Elementary School, while Jan pursued his veterinary career. Because they both loved animals, Diane helped Jan set up his practice while juggling her own career and their growing responsibilities. Their journey was one of teamwork, with both of them making sacrifices and supporting each other along the way. They were determined to make a life for themselves, and they worked hard to open their own veterinary practice in 1981. In the small Michigan town of Weedman, the clinic began simply, but with Jan's knowledge and Diane's management skills, it quickly became a well-known business that served farmers, pet owners, and animal lovers from all over the region. One of the most important things about Diane and Jan's marriage was that they both loved animals. While Jan did the veterinary work, Diane ran the clinic behind the scenes, scheduling appointments, handling finances, and making sure everything ran smoothly. Jan took care of the animals while Diane took care of everything else. In addition to their professional accomplishments, Diane and Jan also built a loving family. Since they couldn't have biological children, they made the heartfelt decision to adopt. They welcomed 3 children into their home: Kathy, Charles, Diane Jr., and their family life was just as important to them as their work, and they made sure to give their kids a safe and loving place to grow up. Diane did a great job of raising kids and running a busy veterinary practice at the same time. She juggled the duties of being a mother and a business manager to make sure that both the clinic and their home were full of love and stability. Their son Charles would later play a key role in their lives, helping to bring their story to TV and introducing their work to millions of fans. As their clinic grew, Diane and Yen became known in their community as dedicated veterinarians and kind-hearted people. As individuals, they had built a meaningful life, but their journey was far from over. A new chance was on the horizon, one that would make them TV stars and share their story with people all over the world. Their hard work and dedication had already earned them a respected position in their field, but when the incredible Dr. Pol came along, their lives would change in ways they could never have imagined. Whoa! The show made them famous, showing how dedicated they were to each other, and how they would never give up on each other. As the years went by, fans started to notice small changes that made many people wonder what happened to Dr. Pol's wife and Diane's part in the show. Zhu Yo. By the early 2000s, Pol Veterinary Services had become a well-known and trusted clinic in rural Michigan. Dr. Jan Pol's practical, no-nonsense approach to veterinary medicine and deep understanding of both farm animals and pets earned him a strong reputation among local farmers and pet owners, unlike many modern veterinarians who only specialize in small animals. Dr. Pol was one of the few vets who still made house calls to farms to treat cows, horses, pigs, and other large animals with skill and efficiency. He was a legend in his community for being able to diagnose and treat even the most difficult cases with limited resources. However, it wasn't until their son Charles Pol realized how unique his father's work was that people outside of Michigan's farmlands would learn about Dr. Pol. Charles started pitching the idea to TV networks with the goal of making his father's dream come true. His father's dream. Many executives didn't like the idea of a rural veterinarian's job, but he kept at it until Nat Geo took a chance on the idea. In 2011, The Incredible Dr. Pol premiered, and it was an instant hit. Unlike other veterinary shows that focused on high-tech procedures and specialized care, The Incredible Dr. Pol showed real-life farm visits, emergency treatments, and the rough reality of veterinary medicine in rural America. Dr. Pol's ability to handle everything from Wild Dr. Pol was definitely the star of the show. Diane was just as important to its success, even though she didn't appear on camera as often as her husband. Diane had always been the backbone of Pol Veterinary Services, running the clinic's business side and making sure everything ran smoothly. She scheduled appointments, organized paperwork, and kept Diane was an administrative assistant, but she was also a steady and comforting presence for both the veterinary staff and the pet owners who came to the clinic. She answered the phone, greeted clients with a warm smile, and often reassured worried pet owners during tough cases. Her caring personality connected with viewers, making her a beloved part of the show's charm. Fans admired her patience, kindness, and unwavering dedication to both groups. When The Incredible Dr. Pol became popular, it became one of Nat Geo Wild's highest-rated shows. The show showed viewers the ups and downs of veterinary medicine in a rural setting and also gave viewers a look into the dynamic Pol family. The chemistry between Dr. Pol, Diane, and their hard-working staff made viewers feel like they were part of the clinic, which created a loyal fan base that watched the show for over a decade, even though it was a hit. The challenges of Incredible Dr. Pol were many. Running a veterinary practice and a reality TV show at the same time took a lot of work. The long hours and unpredictable nature of emergency veterinary work often left the Pol family tired. Diane, in particular, did a lot of work behind the scenes to make sure the clinic ran smoothly and patients got the best care possible, while cameras watched every move. Through it all, Diane stayed the same. Diane's unwavering dedication meant that even though her role wasn't as well known as Dr. Pol's, it was just as important. The clinic and the show would not have run as smoothly without her organizational skills, calming presence, and unwavering support. The success of The Incredible Dr. Pol wasn't just due to Dr. Pol's veterinary skills. It was also due to the amazing partnership he shared with Diane. Together, they built not only a successful clinic, but a legacy that touched the hearts of millions. Fans of The Incredible Dr. Paul noticed something off about Diane in the episode, Beauty and the Bees. Diane had always been the show's anchor, with her charm, wit, and strength, keeping everything together. She was more than just a familiar face on screen, she had become a symbol of strength and determination. But in that episode, Diane wore a neck brace and struggled to stand tall for a moment, making it easy to miss but impossible to ignore if it had been part of the show. Franny, you lie. After the episode aired, there was a strange silence. There were no explanations or updates. Fans replayed the scene over and over again, searching for answers. Diane, the fearless and beloved character who had brought so many fans joy, was now showing a vulnerability that left them stunned. Her presence in the episode was fleeting, and her absence was more noticeable than ever. It was clear she wasn't well, and the thought that someone so strong for so long, Diane's struggles over many years, may have hit a deep chord with viewers. When she came back in the next episode looking bright and renewed, fans felt a collective sense of relief. She smiled, joked, and carried on as if the uncertainty of the past weeks had never existed. But the relief didn't last long. Under the warmth of her presence, there was an unspoken understanding among fans that Diane's struggles weren't over. This wouldn't be the last time she disappeared from the spotlight. She would be gone more often. Her strength, which had always been shown on screen, was now being tested in ways that no one could see from the outside. Fans watched, feeling helpless, but grateful for every moment she shared, her resilience shining through, even in her weakest moments. Diane's journey became a reminder to us all that strength isn't just standing tall in the face of trouble. It's also about showing up even when you don't think you can. And it's about pushing through the pain, even when it feels like you can't. It's possible for the world to fall apart around you, Diane. The rock we had all been leaning on for so long had become a symbol of what it meant to keep going, even when the road ahead was uncertain. So while her hospital visits were heartbreaking, they also marked a turning point. Fans rallied behind her, sending her love, support, and strength, just like she had done for them so many times before. Hasekuwer. Diane's journey was no longer just a part of the show, it became a shared experience. Her strength, vulnerability, and unwavering will to keep fighting would leave a mark on the hearts of those who had watched her grow and fight, not just as a character, but as a person. Sadly, this was just the start of the problems Diane and Jan would have to deal with. The Incredible Dr. Paul ended on Nat Geo Wild on July 6, 2024, after more than a decade on the air. The show had captured the attention of millions of viewers, starting on October 29, 2011, and ending on July 6, 2024. Bringing their veterinary practice and down-to-earth personalities into homes around the world made them one of the most loved families on TV. Their unwavering dedication to animals and dedication to their rural Michigan community made them stand out among reality TV stars. But as with everything else, there came a time to step away. Diane had been deeply involved behind the scenes, helping to keep things running smoothly. But after she started having health problems, it became nearly impossible for her to keep up the same pace. The physical demands of running the practice and the stress of filming were too much for her to handle. Leaving the show helped her focus on her recovery and overall health. Reality TV also has its own problems. While The Incredible Dr. Paul was praised for being honest and heartfelt, it was also criticized, especially Dr. Paul's traditional veterinary techniques, which some vets said didn't work. Always follow modern best practices. This caused some problems, like legal battles and close attention from veterinary boards. Even though Dr. Paul had a lot of loyal fans, being in the spotlight all the time and having to defend his work in public places added extra stress to the whole family. Deciding to end the show was a bittersweet decision. On the one hand, it ended a big part of their lives that had brought them a lot of joy, purpose, and attention. On the other hand, it opened up new opportunities for them. After years of giving their all to their clinic, the show, and the people in their community, Diane and Dr. Paul were finally able to focus on themselves, their family, and the simple pleasures of life. Even though the show ended, Diane and Dr. Paul's legacy lives on. And that's on. Their veterinary clinic continues to serve the Michigan community with the same dedication and passion as always, and Dr. Paul, even though he's not on TV anymore, still acts as a mentor to younger veterinarians and is still working in the field, but in a smaller role. Meanwhile, reruns of The Incredible Dr. Pol continue to bring the Pol family's story to new audiences, making sure that their influence on both the veterinary world and reality TV lives on. Wasn't lost and fought lost. Instead, they were able to focus on their health, spend time with their families, and think back on the amazing journey they had shared, even though fans no longer saw them on TV. It will never be forgotten that Nat Geo Wild was built on love for animals and service to their community. However, before the show ended, fans started to notice Diane's growing absence. She was noticeably less present in later seasons, and rumors started to spread about what had happened to Diane. It was later revealed that Diane had suffered a severe injury that left her in pain and limited in her mobility, which made her injury even worse. She said it happened in a mysterious way. Details about the accident are still unclear, and there isn't much public information to confirm exactly what happened. Some reports suggest that Diane may have been referring to a metaphorical train wreck to describe how bad the accident was instead of a real one. What is clear is that her injury had a big effect on her quality of life. Back injuries, especially in older people, can be very crippling. She was in unbearable pain that made it hard to do everyday things. She had always been active and independent, but her injury made her slow down. During this hard time, it was said that her family feared for her safety, and that those closest to her were whispering that they were losing her. You were losing her. The weight of her struggle became unbearable at times, and the uncertainty of her recovery loomed large. On March 15, 2024, Diane had surgery to fix her back problems. She stayed in the hospital for a week to be watched, and then began the long, difficult process of healing. Getting better wasn't easy. Diane had to go through a lot of medical care and physical therapy to regain her strength and mobility. This was a very hard time for her family, but they got through it all together. Dr. Pol stayed by Diane's side and offered unwavering support. Their marriage had been through a lot of hard times over the years, and this was yet another test of how strong they were. Rehabilitation and recovery. After her injury, Diane had to go through a long and hard rehabilitation process. To deal with her condition, Diane had to go through evaluations, physical therapy sessions, and changes to her lifestyle. She also had to be careful with her movements so she wouldn't hurt herself more. This happened in the last few episodes of The Incredible Dr. Pol show. It may have been one of the reasons why the show ended. It was time to focus on family and personal health. Despite the difficulties, Diane remained determined to regain her independence. With the help of her family and medical professionals, she slowly began to do so. Diane is still in pain, but she has made a lot of progress in adjusting to her new life. She is also getting used to just enjoying every day with her husband, Dr. Paul, who is known for his unwavering work ethic, took on the role of caregiver while still working at the clinic. He made sure to put Diane's well-being first, and their love and devotion were once again clear as they faced this challenge together. What does the future hold for this amazing couple? Diane and Dr. Paul are living a less stressful life than they did when they were on TV. The veterinary clinic is still open, but they have cut back on their duties to focus on their health and personal time. After decades of working hard at their practice, they now let their experienced team handle most of the day-to-day tasks, while Dr. Paul stays involved in a limited way. His love for veterinary medicine has never wavered, but he knows it's time to slow down as he gets older. Even though Diane's injury has changed some parts of her daily life, she still lives in the same rural community in Michigan that they have served for so many years. Their home, which is surrounded by farmland and open fields, is a peaceful retreat where they can enjoy the simple pleasures of life, like watching the seasons change, taking care of their own pets, and spending quality time together. They have a strong connection to their community and are often visited by neighbors, former clients, and friends who see them as local legends. Diane stays busy in any way she can. She has always been very strong, and even though her back injury has limited her physically, she refuses to let it define her. She loves spending time with her children and grandchildren, savoring every moment with the family they built together. Frey, they built together. Her grandchildren bring her the most joy, and she loves hearing their stories, seeing them grow, and passing on the wisdom she has gained over the years. Diane also stays in touch with her many fans who followed her. Diane and Dr. Paul have been connected with fans of The Incredible Dr. Paul for over a decade, even though the show is no longer being made. Season 2. Diane and Dr. Paul continue to interact with their fans through social media, whether it's sharing updates about their lives, remembering favorite moments from the show, or just thanking their fans for their support. Dr. Paul enjoys working, even though he's taking a break from running a full-time clinic. He spends as much time as possible with animals, and his wealth of experience makes him an invaluable mentor to the younger veterinarians working at Paul Veterinary Services. Services. Even though he is getting closer to retirement, his love for animals and dedication to their care are still as strong as ever. Diane and Dr. Paul's unwavering bond has been the foundation of their love story for more than 50 years, built on mutual respect, friendship, and shared dreams. They have been through every storm together. In their early years, Diane and Dr. Paul had to deal with money problems, running a veterinary clinic, and the pressures of TV fame. As they start a new chapter in their lives, they do so hand in hand, showing that through all of their successes and failures, they are truly partners in every sense of the word. For Diane and Dr. Paul, life may have slowed down, but their love for each other, their family, and the animals they've dedicated their lives to remain strong, and the fans they've gained over the years keep sending them love and support. People say that behind every successful guy is a woman. Do you think that's true for Dr. Paul and Diane? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.